Hey guys, Blaine Larsen here, and I want to talk. Should you sell in Utah, or are you stuck in your current home because of interest rate or equity? I'm going to answer a few key questions to this, and I'm sure if you've even thought about it, you might want to listen to this. So I think that most people feel like they're stuck, and really it comes down to you haven't come up with a game plan. There are options out there, and there's things that actually make sense. I know, again, a lot of you are stuck in that, or stuck or benefiting from that low interest rate. But a couple things to keep in mind is you got to think long term, and equity will never replace your interest rate. And so if you've been looking to move up or you need to move up for some reason, Utah's a very unique and dynamic market, and we are going to appreciate, and we have one of the best markets in the country. And so it's something to consider when you're looking at that move up, is that you're never going to get that 2 and 3% interest rate again. And so sometimes you want to look at the long term and look at the equity that you can build a little more than the interest rate that you currently have on your home. So everybody tries to time the market. And I know that in the 21 years I've been doing this, I've tried to time it myself many times, and it just doesn't work. And the problem is we don't know what's going on in the current market until about 3 to 6 months down the road. And so if you're trying to time it, you're going to miss it every time because you don't know when you're at the top or when you're at the bottom. The other thing that you need to realize is if price comes down for the purchase you want to make, the home that you're selling right now, that price just went down as well. And so just something to consider. Timing is when you're ready to jump in and make the move and come up with a strategic plan. That's typically the best timing out there. But trying to time the market, unless you're doing something short term, typically becomes irrelevant. And I can explain that a little more in detail. Again, if you ever want to reach out to me, you can always call or text me. My phone number and email will be in the link below, and I'd be more than happy to do a little deeper dive on that for you.
What if my home doesn't sell fast?
So something to consider. One thing that we need to realize, Utah, again, we're a unique market. We're not the rest of the country. So stop watching the news and reach out to an expert and go through it a little bit more. We are still in a seller's market here in Utah. I know you've probably seen or heard different from that, but we're still in a seller's market, which means you're still in control on the sale of your home. So we can time that. We can put contingencies and clauses within the contract that make you feel comfortable that you're going to have plenty of time to make that next move.
Days on market have increased compared to the frenzy.
Yeah, your house isn't going to sell the first weekend, maybe, but it also might. It depends on the price point, it depends on the condition, and it depends on the location. And so we're actually sitting at around 60 days on the market here in Weber and Davis County, and that's a healthy market. It's not a long time. A long time is when we've seen markets that you're sitting 180 days on the market. That's when we flip over to a buyer's market. But right now, we're still in a very healthy market here in the state of Utah. This is a big one. Most people remember selling before, or they think about all the projects they have to fix, or that they have to do something with their pets and their kids, and they get kicked out of their house constantly. We understand this. Here at Larsen Realty Group, we come up with a very detailed plan. We work with you, not against you, or we don't tell you what to do. We make a plan together, and we make this as easy as we can. We have contractors and cleaners and movers that can come in, help get the home ready. Unfortunately, we don't have dog or kid sitters. We're working on it. But the biggest thing is to have a plan, and then we stick to the plan, and we make sure we communicate with you. We let you know what's going on with every step of the process. You have a voice in the matter. And so it's very important that we talk, we come up with a game plan, we're all on board. That's the best way for you to move forward. So a lot of people are hung up because, again, interest rates are higher than you probably have on your home. The nice thing is you probably have some good equity in your house. And so something that you want to consider is, where are interest rates? Does a rate buy down make sense? Can we get the seller to pay that rate buy down? Have you thought about new construction? There's a lot of builders out there that are sitting on inventory right now. They're willing to negotiate, and I know a lot of them are willing to do a long-term buy down of that interest rate. And so it's just looking at all of the options. So just in summary of all of these things, because I'm sure you felt all of them, and if there's something out there that I didn't touch on or hit on this, just go ahead and comment in it, and I'd be happy to come back in and address that. But I think the biggest thing is having a plan, knowing your options, and knowing that somebody's there to support you and walk you through the entire process, and know there are ways, because everybody needs to move at some point in time. Life happens. We outgrow. We don't need. We get transfers. Everything happens in life, and there's always a reason that you may need to move. And if you're feeling any of those pressures or have any thoughts of moving, reach out anytime. Happy to come out, free, no obligation consultation, and we can just talk about your options.